Alright, I know where I'm going next. Alright, we're leaving Roscommon, we're heading south again. My original destination was Lough Ree, and that has not changed. Especially from what I learned at the library. Lough Ree, specifically the south part of it near Athlone, paid host to a significant Viking presence back in the day. So I'm hopefully going to be able to see a bunch of that. I've already targeted a castle that's piqued my interest, and the campsites are actually close by to that as well, so I should be able to do that as well. My intention is to camp out tonight, but I need to find a place to relax for a while in order to get my footage and all sorted out. My phone holder is broke as well. I'm gonna have to replace that today, I think, because it literally fell off the moment I parked the bike outside the library. But yeah, my destination is 11 kilometers away. It's actually not that far. Well, my first destination anyway. I have somewhere else I wanted to go first. And then it'll be a further, I think, 14 kilometers to the castle, which is near Lough Ree. But I'm actually going to be passing by Lough Ree for the majority of this ride here. Look at that cloud cover. We're going to get some rain fairly soon. I am not repeating the mistakes of last time. Yeah, here it comes. I can feel it. Oh, that wind. Yeah, that's definitely a storm. Let's get in here real quick. Yeah, that tree will do actually. Yeah, this will do. I think I'll put the gear on as well, just in case though. Oh yeah, beware of dog. Here's the rain. Okay, let me put my gear on. Actually, let me push the bike forward a little bit, get it further out of the rain. Nope, that's not gonna work. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. Yeah, it's out of the rain. Good. It's slowing down a bit, but I'm not taking a chance. The gear's not even on yet and it's already stopped. But I can see from the cloud cover. Look at the clouds. I'm riding into it. So I think it's probably passing that way. I'll have to drive into it and I'll be in it for a while, I'd say. It's only 11 o'clock. It would make a perfect camp spot if only wild camping was permitted, which is not. I'm actually going to check out the derelicts just up the road. Let's have a look. This oak tree was planted by Mr. John McDermott and Sarah Durbin on the eve of the Millennium 2000 on behalf of the local residents of Ballymurray. Okay, so this tree was planted smack dab on the year 2000, on the eve of the Millennium. Heck of a time to plant an oak tree, but it worked. So I'm assuming there's no even plans to do this derelict up. It's just become part of the landscape now at this stage, because you can tell it's maintained. I mean, that would be a perfect derelict to renovate, to be honest. That's a prime one to do. Well, it hasn't rained in a few minutes now. I think I can get going. So you can see the rocks there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 marks the side of it, and then the two stones with the tombs. It's like, I can't remember, they call it a tomb slab or something. I think it's been a long time since I learned about that, but that's essentially what a passage tomb looked like. It was two rocks with a giant tomb kind of slab on top, and it makes kind of like an arch. So those were typical Neolithic burial tombs. That is beautiful. Alright, my ducklings, welcome to Lochray. I'm chuffed I'm actually here now, to be honest. I've never been here before. I've been to Athlone, but I've never seen the loch. Yeah, the GoPro cut out again when I was on the national road. Unfortunately, it ran out of power. I'm trying my best to upkeep them, but I'm not perfect yet, so I'm getting there. Right now, they're currently charging, getting fully topped up before I move on again. I am going to continue on though, so I'm going to go through Athlone and I'm going to proceed towards Clonmacnoise. I think it's Clonmacnoise, that's the name of the place. I'm hoping there's going to be a lot of stuff to see there. I'd like to see the seldom seen stuff as well, so I haven't made as much distance as I thought I would. I think I just severely overestimated my distance calculations. So with that in mind, I'm not going to be able to do a full ring before I have to go back to Dublin, unfortunately. So I was starting to think maybe I should actually just visit the sites here and then start making a unique route back to Dublin, because that way by Friday or Saturday I'll be back in Dublin. I'll just get going after everything's charged, and then I'll decide what I'm going to do after. And here we go. This, my ducklings, is why I travel with duct tape. It'll hold until I get to a place where I can buy a new one. So, here we are. So that was the one thing that caught my eye the moment I got here. It's a pretty cool place. It's a heritage site that's constantly maintained, and it has tour buses coming and going as well, so people have been buzzing in and out all day, I assume, and since I've been here, I've been seeing tour buses come and go. Thank you very much.
Through those two doors there will bring you directly out on site, and also through the two doors into the right, toilets, the round stone building just outside. Down the hallway here next to the desk will bring you down to the museum.
See all the crosses here, and I think she said those are replicas. That's a hell of a view. Is it? I know, you see it puzzling, you just go.
I know, it's very quiet.
Yeah.
You can do it on the jigsaw situation.
Oh yeah, I'm determined to get a piece at
We'll
least.
do a piece, certainly.
Yeah, you know me.
I say, there's your phone.
Though missing a large part of its top, this is a fine example of a round tower or freestanding belfry, so typical of Irish church sites. As is usual the case, the doorway, which has a semicircular arch, is well above ground level. It is faced with well-shaped rectangular limestone blocks that the annual records of 1124 was built by Turlough O'Connor O'Mahone, the successor of Kieran. Iron ore found beneath the bog was smelted in the furnace after being dried out in an open hearth. Oh, okay, so that explains that. So maybe the process of having a bog would actually allow for the formation of like an iron kind of substrate. Pilgrim, Aid, son of the chief of Wyrm, died on pilgrimage 606 AD. The pilgrims of the old days fascinate me, primarily because they walked everywhere. They didn't really have much with them either. They relied on the kindness of strangers, the churches. There was a lot of churches back then, to be honest, so they could always find shelter. Kind of inspiring, considering they do the journeys I'm doing right now, but they walked it. I've found my accommodation for tonight. I'll be staying in a bed and breakfast, which is 11 kilometers from here, just outside Shannon Bridge. Duck's tired. She wanted a kick. Clonmacnoise, thank you very much. Alright, we're continuing south. 11 kilometers to my accommodation. Duck, we're gonna pass Shannon Bridge in a minute. Less than a kilometer to where you and I first met. Good girl, you've got me through this whole thing. But I'm sorry, I can't take you to Cork. Yeah, there's no facial to me today, unfortunately. The little GoPro ran out of storage again. This whole trip has been nothing but a fight with storage, and I'm actually eager to actually put that aspect of it to rest. Alright. Ballinasloe is the other way. Tullamore is that way. And Shannon Bridge. Whew. I'm back. Yeah, they utilised the skeleton of an old water tower for cell signals. That's clever. Utilise the infrastructure that's already there. It was the first town I passed through after Tullamore. Oh, sorry, no, after Ballinasloe. I remember that road. Oh, do you know what I remember this place for? It had amazing pump. Waiting to show you, hang on. I'll show you the pump. So I remember I came through Shannon Bridge specifically because they had a couple of pumps outside of a small shop, and I'd never seen the like before, and I thought that was fascinating. Yeah, there it is. Serviceable pumps that actually do work. I'll go into the shop while I'm here actually. I feel very nostalgic now because when I took this route I was barely on the bike for like 20 minutes and I remember being super nervous, and you know what, the gear indicator on Duck didn't work when I picked her up, so when I was shifting gears I had no indication here, and the bike was brand new to me, so I had no idea what the gears sounded like. I mean, now I know what the gears sound and feel like, so I don't even need to look down anymore. I remember stopping stop signs and shifting, and I'd end up shifting into neutral on accident and then revving the engine at stop signs as well. Was a bit embarrassing, but people understood because I had a learner vest on. And I remember I was going down this road very slowly as well. I think I was doing like 35 when I went down this road. I was a bit terrified, primarily because I was on a new bike. And look at me now, all grown up, and Duck is back now. The duct tape solution has held up though, hasn't it? Feasibly this would last me until I get there, or get home really. Hiya. I'm just checking in.
Oh, you're checking in. You're booked in here.
Yeah. So, I'm fully checked into my bed and breakfast now. So, the landlady was very kind to me. She gave me tea and apple pie with ice cream. So, I'm very happy with myself. But considering the fact that I'm probably going to head out at like 5 a.m. again tomorrow, just to make some headway as much as I can, especially since Thursday is so important, I thought I'd just explore around Shannon Bridge and some of the outlying area, particularly because it's where I started my motorbike journey officially on the road on my own. So on this road right now is literally about 8 or 9 kilometers away from the bed and breakfast, and it's just where I actually started my motorbike journey a few kilometers into it, essentially. So it's actually a funny story. So take a look down there. So down there is a junction. It's a main road there. So I headed up from that direction all the way down there, and Google Maps told me to go this direction, all the way up this road that looks extremely sketchy, or it did look extremely sketchy in my case. And to be honest, it barely looked wide enough for 2 cars. That was my assumption. Like I'm more familiar with these roads now again. Now, but Duck looked exactly like she does now. So she didn't have a top box or anything else like that, and she was in much worse condition when I got her. Now, the funny story is, I'm heading up this road, and as you can see there's a car going up there, and it doesn't really have any sort of safety features or anything else like that. But you can see there, like, the road's barely wide enough for 1 car. So I'm pretty much dreading it at that point and going up, just going, what the hell am I thinking going up this road? So I decided to turn up it, and I'm heading up the road, and it's actually full of twists and turns as well. Like, what you see here actually doesn't give it any sort of justice. So essentially what it is twists and turns as you go further up. So you can probably see it all the way down there, there's twists and turns. So I'm heading up at about 30 kilometers an hour. I'm still green on the road essentially, and I didn't know much about Duck at the time, so I couldn't really, as I said, the gear shifter wasn't working either, or the indicator wasn't working, so I couldn't tell what gear I was in most of the time, and I didn't want to lock the gear up, and I didn't even understand the centrifugal clutch at the time. I was actually terrified of going from 4th gear and switching into neutral while I was in drive and on the road, which doesn't happen, but I didn't know that at the time. I was still a novice. But the funny story is, I was heading up this road at 30 miles an hour, and a tractor comes up behind me, and the tractor was getting very close to me at this point. So I'm navigating this road all the way down, and the tractor's right behind me. So I increased to 35, tractor increases to 35. I'm like, oh my god, I have to go to 40 miles an hour, and I could barely go 40 on a main road at the time. So I go 40, and then I'm going 40 up the road. The tractor's still with me, and I'm freaking out at this point, so I'm going to 45, and I didn't want to push it to 50. I felt really, really in danger, and to be honest, I didn't want to stop. I had nowhere to pull over either. This tractor is coming up right behind me, like right now. Like, look at the speed this guy is probably going. He's carrying something now, but the other guy wasn't carrying something, but he was right on me for a few miles, to be honest. I was terrified the entire time, but they were flying up the road. Like, this guy's carrying something, so he's probably not going to be weighed down too much. But to be perfectly honest, I was actually shaking, to be perfectly honest. Like, they just fly up and down these roads as this guy just did there, and he takes up the entire road, so you have no way to let him by, really. And it's starting to rain again, of course. So yeah, essentially that's my first scare on the road, and that was my first funny story. So I was actually down here to check out this, what looks to be an abandoned church, but unfortunately it's sealed off and I'm not allowed in. There's kind of like steps there inviting me to go in, but I don't think I want to do that, to be honest. But I thought I'd just go up and take a look at it, primarily just to see what it was like. And yeah, I told you my funny story. I'm going to explore a couple of the other locations around Shannon Bridge now.